Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In this video, let's see how to work with Pytest fixtures. So to start with, let's understand what are fixtures. So fixtures are something which you can execute before running your test method. So in real time, you will be put up in a situation where you want to execute something before running a test method. So in that situation, if you are using Pytest, you can definitely go ahead with fixtures in Pytest. One basic example is like if you are working with any database connectivity or database stuffs, right? What you can do is generally you initially you will do a database connection, right? So these kind of database connections can generally go into fixes. Or for example, if you're doing some UI testing using Selenium, you can launch your browser like Chrome browser, Firefox. These kind of initial activities uh, you can declare within these fixes. Okay, so in order to explain this example in detail, I've written a basic Selenium test where initially I've written three methods over here. First method is setup method, which is nothing but I'm just launching my GitHub profile page and using Chrome browser. And next step is I'm just verifying the title of the web page, and finally I'm just clicking on repositories. So here it is. So first I'm gonna launch my GitHub profile page in the first method. Secondly, I'm just gonna verify what's the title of this web page. In the third method, I'm just gonna click on this repositories to view the list of repositories. So this is a very basic test I've written here. Let's see how we can use fixes here. So what I'm intending to do now is I want to launch my browser before each and every test method. So before executing my test assert title this method, I'm expecting to launch my browser. Again, before executing my test underscore view repositories, I'm expecting to launch a browser. So as I said earlier, if you want to execute any activity before your test method, then you can generally do go with Pytest fixes. In order to do that, all I need to do is just include this syntax for Pytest fixes. So now my Pytest method will understand, okay, now I have to execute this Pytest fixer method each and every time before a test method. Okay, so how do I let other test methods know that I want to use the setup method? So all I need to do is just pass the parameter of this method name in your respective test method. So as simple as that. So once that is done, so what I'm expecting now to happen is before running my test asset title method, I'm expecting my browser to be launched. And again, before running my test underscore view repositories method, I'm expecting another new browser to be launched. So let's run and see what happens. So pytest test underscore fixture dot py. Now, yeah, now my first browser is launched. Now it's loading my GitHub profile page. Once that is done, it's trying to assert to the page. In my second method, I'm again launching my browser and clicking on repositories. Okay, so now these two test methods are executed successfully. Okay, now if you see, two test cases are passed. If you keenly note what happened when I run this, it launched the browser two times. So what I have done is I have declared the setup method, defined the setup method to run before each and every test method. So before running my assert title method, I am launching my browser. Again, before running my test view repository method, I am launching my browser. So with the help of fixes, if I want to do any activity prior to running my test method, that's when you use fixes. So let's what happens in situation where I do not want to use the Pytest fixes before my test method, right? So what I can do is I can just remove this parameter, as simple as that. So once I do this, let's run and see what happens now. Now if I run, now what I'm expecting is I'm just expecting one browser to launch and execute my two methods. So I'm just not gonna, I have not passed any setup parameter over here to launch my browser again. So now let's run and see. Yeah, now my browser is launched, and I'm expecting my GitHub profile page to load and overview and asserting title, and then finally clicking on the repositories. Now, if you now note, in my previous run, it opened another browser to click on the second method, which is nothing but clicking on repository. In this run, it did not open another browser. It did everything within a single browser itself. So this is how you can use Pytest fixtures to run any method or to do any activity prior to your test method. Okay, so this is how you work with Pytest fixtures. All right, thank you for watching.